The three most popular radio stations in the UK are all BBC stations, which is understandable because they've got the biggest coverage. But if you're from outside the UK, this is where it might get a bit confusing, because the number one radio station in the UK is Radio 2. And Radio 2 is middle of the road, something for everyone. The number two radio station is Radio 4. And even weirder, that's a radio station that doesn't play music. It's all news, current affairs, documentaries, highbrow stuff. It's also the radio station I listen to the most. Then at number 3 is Radio 1, which is the music of the youth of today. And for research purposes, on the way to work this morning, I listened to Radio 1 for a short while. Luckily though, I was able to change the station back before the urge to drive into a bridge support became too much. And then after that you start to get into the commercial radio stations, and there are a lot of good ones. But wherever you are in the UK, or actually in the Western world I guess, we all have the same local radio station. They will have different names and different presenters, but they all follow exactly the same formula. In the mornings, you'll have the morning crew, or whatever they are, which will be a man and a woman who are deeply unfunny, and there's a lot of awkward sexual tension. I imagine they shagged each other at the Christmas party and both regret it. And then once they're out of the way at around 9:30, it goes into the most generic local radio banter ever. Every DJ comes on and goes, "Hey, let's get your Thursday going. Let's listen to Savage Garden." Because they all play Savage Garden. They will claim that Emma's just texted in for Savage Garden. No one is texting for a one-hit wonder from 20 years ago. And the whole day is then just inane, pointless drivel. Have you ever wondered how many peas there are in a pot? There's 6 or 7. I've googled it. I've checked it. What's the most amazing curry you've had? Who fucking cares? And then you get traffic and travel. Well, the roads are starting to look a bit busy. Are they, mate? At 5 o'clock on a fucking weekday? Thank God you're there. I would have never expected it. And the news is always the local news. North Korea could be test-firing missiles at New York, and they would still report on there's a new carpet shop opened in town before they got to Armageddon. And because it's a commercial station, it means they've got adverts. And the adverts are always the same. Some marketing type has worked out that, hey, funny adverts are the most successful. But they have to set it to appeal to the thickest person that's going to listen to the station, so they'll get the joke. So it's a moronic joke, which no matter how funny it is, if you play it every 20 minutes for 6 fucking weeks, it isn't funny. And then this is a radio station, so we get onto the local radio's actual music. And it's always the same. It's the one free CD they've been sent by a record label that month. You know, CD 1 of now, that's what I call whatever number they're on now. And then 10 songs which they will repeat all fucking day. Only one of which is any good. We've already covered Savage Garden. There'll probably be Barbie Girl by Aqua on there as well. Or anything else they haven't got to pay royalties on. And then every now and again you'll get Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. And then they cut it. They will cut 3 minutes out of one of the best rock songs of all time. So you may have gathered I'm not a big fan of this type of local radio. But in recent years there have been some really good stations starting up, mainly over the internet, and I was listening to one last night. It's called Laser Radio, never heard it before. The reason I tuned in is that local rock ninjas Jesse's Divide were guests on The Rock Show. And what struck me was this is a radio station for people who actually care about music, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It got me thinking, I'd like to do something like that. So last night before I went to bed, I just put on Facebook, I think I'd like to be a local radio DJ. And a lot of my friends got in contact and said, Dan, that'd be a really good idea, you'd be good at that. I should stress that Mrs. Disgruntled, my wife, the woman who I spend my entire life with, her response was, dear God, no. And also my friend Charlie from the Bad Soul Buskers mentioned that you can't swear on the radio. So I've had to rack my brains today, and there must have been times I haven't sworn for over an hour. Well, the last time, I think, was when I got married. But how about that? Disgruntled Danny on local radio. Disgruntled Danny's classic rock show. What I could do, after 9 o'clock, so I didn't have to worry about my language too much, I'd just play a couple of songs off Led Zeppelin 4 and invite people to comment. And if anyone didn't say it's some of the best music they've heard of all time, I'd just call them a cunt and go on the next caller.